Hi everyone, welcome to Chef Shelley's Kitchen. We've got a great bread that we're going to make today. It is a pumpkin chocolate chip with walnut loaf bread, and it is awesome. So I'm going to share just some variations depending upon your dietary needs that certainly can help you out and have the best ingredients. So let me just say everything that I have going on here, and then we will put these in this bowl in sequence. So we have a can of pumpkin, we have sweetener, and this is where I always say if you use regular sugar, fine. If you use monk fruit or erythritol or any of those, then that's what you're going to use for your sweetener. We have canola oil, we have water, 4 eggs. This is regular flour. I have not tried this recipe with almond flour or coconut flour. So if you're strict keto, that might be something you'll want to try out. And if you do, I would recommend that you use maybe a 70-30 ratio, about 70% almond flour and about 30% coconut flour. But we're just using all-purpose flour. And then I have the mixture of seasonings, including salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and then I also have baking soda. And then the last 2 ingredients we're going to fold into all of this great stuff are mini semi-sweet chocolates. Again, if you're keto, you can certainly get the chocolate chips from there. And then we're using chopped walnuts. So one thing about nuts is oftentimes if you get chopped versus whole, it could be the same brand, same quantity, but the chopped is going to be more expensive because they've chopped it for you. So I always get with the whole and then just use a carving board and just chop it up myself. So pretty easy. So let's go on and start. We're gonna put this entire can of pumpkin in here. And you want to get this as fresh as possible. This is the easy route. If you are at a time when pumpkin is being harvested and you want to buy one of the really small cooking pumpkins, by all means, what you need to do is you have to cook it in the oven and then you need to puree it. But this is already done for us. And since this show really is about simple, delicious, and healthier recipes, we're just going to use the can for today. All right, to that, we're going to add the sweetener. Gonna mix that in. And then what we're going to do, we can put this away. We're gonna add our canola oil. And then we're gonna add our water. And of course, you know, all of the measurements are in the comment section. So don't you worry. Everything is down there for you. And then we're going to add our eggs. Okay, so once we get all of that in the bowl together, now we're gonna start mixing, okay? So we're gonna mix all of these ingredients like so, carefully. This is gonna be coming at the brim once I add the flour. Okay. So you can see you're just mixing it. I would just use a hand mixer. You can use, you know, another mixer if you would like, but this is just, of course, I always love my KitchenAid, but this is just so simple that I think you're just fine. My dad has that saying, just fine, it's just fine. I think this is just fine just to use a hand mixer. Doesn't take a lot. All right, then what you want to do is kind of gradually, not all at once, start stirring in your flour. Okay, bit by bit. And then I'm going to add some more till I've stirred in all of it. Okay. And when I get to about the last third, then I'm going to add that along with my spices and the baking soda. So this is just a great kind of fall dessert when, and I'm saying dessert, it doesn't have to be a dessert. I prefer eating it in the morning with my coffee, to be quite honest with you. That's when I prefer eating it. So as you can see, this is getting really smooth and creamy, and maybe we'll get the camera to take a look at it here as we do the last little bit. So let's put the last bit of flour, that over here. Let's add our seasoning, our spices. Okay. And then I'm gonna mix it, and then I'll just kind of, as best as I can, you know, show you how it looks on camera. Try using a clear bowl, so that would help. Although this bowl is not that big, and I am pushing it, pushing the limits. All right, so this might be when the KitchenAid comes in, okay? Because it definitely starts getting thick on you once you get that last bit of flour in there. But still, again, it's not bad. Okay, so I think we've got this mixed nicely. You want to try to get all the little clumps out of it. You want it to look smooth. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. And we want to do that before we add our chocolate chip morsels and our nuts, because then we're not going to know where the lumps are. All right, so there you go. Nice and smooth. Nice, okay, nice batter. All right, so now what I'm going to do, we're done with this. We're gonna now fold in our chocolate morsels. I'm using just about a cup. You can use more or less. Again, that's kind of whatever you would prefer. Now I've already actually put cooking spray on the pans, and I will tell you, this makes for 3 mini loaves is what I would call this. One is for a neighbor. Debbie, this is yours. And one is gonna be frozen. So once it's done, I'm going to actually take it out of here, and I'm going to put it in a freezer bag and put it in the deep freeze. And this one we get to eat. All right, the last thing I'm going to add are the walnuts. And then I'm just gonna fold this in, okay? So I didn't want to use the hand mixer there. I'm just gonna kind of fold this in, make sure it's mixed through thoroughly, because we want as many to be on the bottom as on the top, or else the first pan or two that I put this in gets most of the good stuff, and we don't want that, right? We don't want anyone to be cheated. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. So evenly mixed. Now what I'm gonna do is very carefully split this between 3 pans, and I'll likely come back over it just once I get it all in. And you're gonna fill this up about halfway is what I found. And again, if you start putting it in, then you can see, oh, I've got a little extra, and then you just go back to kind of your earlier pans. So I'm gonna just add a little more here. We're gonna not neglect anyone. And as I said, I like that you have enough that you can freeze, and you know, use one of those aluminum pans. What I will do, you can keep it in the pan, but more than likely I'm going to, as I've done previously, I take it out of the pan and then put it in a freezer bag. And then that's something you would then put in your, when you're ready to eat it, put it in your refrigerator and let it thaw out naturally, and you're good to go. Okay, this is looking amazing. So I'll give you a really quick look at that. My hands are clean, of course. I always wash my hands thoroughly when I'm cooking, as well as all of my surfaces. So this is kind of what it looks like. Beautiful. You can see all the nice mints, chocolate chips, I meant to say, spread throughout. So I have my oven preheated to 350, and I'm going to leave mine in. I'm going to set the timer for 45 minutes. As I always tell you, The oven time is going to vary. Just some ovens, it might be a little more or a little less. The way you'll know is get a toothpick, and I'm gonna say like the 45, I'm gonna look at mine at 40, and if I see that the top still looks like it's not completely done, at 45 minutes, I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm going to try it. And if nothing comes out of the toothpick, then we're good to go, okay? So, and then I usually put this on the lower rack at first, and I'll check it also at about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and then I'll move it up to the top rack. Okay, a lot of details, but this is just a way that if you find that it needs a little extra time, take it from the bottom and bring it up to the top. All right, so it's going in the oven. We will be back once it's done. We're back. So mine took just about 45 minutes, and actually I took a look at it at 30 minutes, and of course it was doing really well. And then 40 minutes is when I opened up the oven, took it from the bottom shelf, put it on top, and let it stay in another 5 minutes. So this is kind of how it looks. I literally just took these out of the oven, so it's hot, but look how beautiful that bread is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it cool completely, and then one I will take to a neighbor, another, this one we will eat starting tonight, and this one will go in the freezer. And as I mentioned, all you need is just a gallon-sized freezer bag, and you can either keep it in or take it out. I'm going to take it out because I'd like to be able to use my aluminum pan again. So once it cools completely, it goes in here, zips up, I take all the air out, and then I put it in my deep freeze. And again, next week, if all of a sudden now we want to have pumpkin loaf bread with chocolate chips and walnuts, we have it right at our disposal. So I hope this is something that you will enjoy. You can use it as a snack, something to go with breakfast, just a little treat. And as I said, it goes great with coffee. So hope you enjoyed it. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please just click on the little circle with my picture in it. I actually come out with an episode every other week, so twice a month on average there. And I try to focus on recipes that are simple, delicious, and I try to help you to find a way to make it healthier. So thanks again. Bye-bye.